Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. So this is another project of mine I thought I might share on this page, and is a water sports center located in Sandown in the Isle of Wight. Is a coastal site with a beach, residential areas, large green spaces, known for attracting tourists and being essential to the Eastern Bay. However, the site is predicted to flood in the next 50 to 100 years from rising sea level and also fluvial flooding if nothing is done to protect it. Um, and the aim uh, of this project was to implement flood defenses to combat the flooding while also providing the necessary infrastructure for the public. So we have the tidal flooding due to high sea level rise that is going to, you know, endanger lives and properties coming this way. And they also have the fluvial flooding from the Eastern Yar River as a result of excess water coming into the site. So the idea was to provide flood defenses around this shore area and also provide uh, an artificial lake over here to collect the water at a controlled rate. So this project is actually a group project. It involves me and two other guys. So we came up with the idea of a seawall as a flood protection mechanism. So we wanted to incorporate a seawall to prevent the uh, rising water from coming into the site. Another flood defense was a breakwater we thought of incorporating to, so when the high currents of water come, it can hit this block of stones and also go back. And here's an illustration to show that where this is going to be the level of the low tide, and this is the high tide, and this is the level for the next 100 years. And you can see it's well high above the ground level. Also the breakwater here, you can see the low tide, the high tide in the next 100 years. You can see the ground floor where people are going to stand, so they are well protected. Moving on, here is a conceptual model uh, for the site. So we incorporated a marina, thought of creating a marina where the boats and the yacht could host the boats and the yacht, and it would also be a seawall to be high enough to protect the high tides from coming into the site. And also at the back end here, we were thinking of collecting the water from the excess water from the Eastern Yar River, storing it and using it as an artificial lake for the site. And these are just, mock-ups showing existing buildings, okay, supermarkets, like beach homes around this lake here, um, like the water spots located here to collect the water and also provide infrastructure here. Um, these lines here, we thought of an elevated platform where viewers, tourists can come and have a look around the site, immerse themselves in nature. And then, yeah, we have also a car park located here. And these are like the legend for it and all the infrastructure we try to provide, and try to link it up with the existing uh, sites. Like these platforms can also link you to the existing site. Uh, yeah, moving on. So over here, we can see sections through the site. This is the existing waterfront without any sea wall, without any protection. You can see how flat it is. And then this is the existing, this is the proposed marina where you have the sea wall, really high up. And these are the levels where uh, you have the low tide. This is how this level where it's going to be on low tide. This is the level for the next 50 to 100 years. And you can see it's very high from where occupants are going to be, the tourists are going to be. Yeah. Same here with this section, you can see the seawall very high up, and you can also see mock-up of existing buildings, cutting through and viewing. Over here, we have an elevated platform. This is just a render showing how it's going to look like. So users, tourists can, walk on this platform, looking at the trees, the natures, the animals around the site, because the site has lots of trees and greenery. So we thought of a nature trail around the site to immerse the users to the site. Okay, one of the infrastructure we are also providing is a shopping mall, a commercial area. Yeah, just a quick drawing to show that, quick sketch drawing uh, to show that over here. Over here, we have the marina that is hosting the boats, the yacht. And we can see that it's elevated from the water, well high above the water. So when the high tides come, it could be like a wall to protect the water from coming into the community. We can see, walkways around to, bring users closer to nature. So given it was a group project, um, we divided the project into three. So one of my other friend, he handled the marina. Another person handled the beach homes and the supermarkets. I was more concentrated on the artificial lake and the water sports area, which is located here. And from now on, this way I'm going to be presenting my own side of the project, which is the water sports center. Um, so we moved the site. Previously, it was located here in the master plan, so we moved it over around here, uh, close to the road and the hill here. That was based on due to accessibility, because we thought the top area here is very, very far for accessibility. So we moved it to area where we have this existing road so that tourists can easily access the site. I also looked at it that it's closer to the hill. So if we put a building here, we can easily see, to be a nice view, to actually have a building overlooking the hill. So that was the major reason of moving the site. And we thought about, okay, a water sports center that can provide canoeing, kayaking, and paddleboarding, and also incorporating this artificial lake water coming from the eastern Yare River, bringing it into creating a artificial lake at a controlled rate, using a sluice gate, to control the influx of water coming in and out. Over here we have the concept and the contextual approach. Um, so trying to determine the shape of the building, and I was thinking of the site, looking at the context of the site. You have this road here, so I was thinking of accessibility. Okay, cars are going to come into the site, so why not let's have a an opening. So we draw a box and split it into two to have accessibility for people coming into the site. um, this other addition, uh, the box on the top was for you know views uh, to the surrounding context of the site. So we added a box on top, and then we also recessed it in, so that they can have access to look at the surroundings. And also the cantilever was done to bring the users closer to the water and also closer to the hill, so that they can have a nice view to the hill, and also garden on top. And here you could see the north elevation showing uh, the cantilever, and also a shed roof which projects, give the users a wider views to the surrounding context. Over here we have the floor plan, um, and from my case studies and analysis I got these spaces, the major spaces this water sports is going to need. So we divided into two zones. We have the boat zone over here, we have the changing zone, along with some offices, the terrace which links both wings of the building together, the water sports zone, and also the fitness room with some offices. And we included these pontoons to connect the water with the land, so that viewers can make use of it easily, have that accessibility. So we have the boating, the kayaking, and the canoeing for them, and we have this promenade, this walkway here, that they can walk around and also access easily these facilities. In order to boost attraction to this site, I cantilevered the building, the top floor, to bring the users closer to the water, closer to nature, and also to have these nice expanded views to the mountain, to the hill on the site. Um, Also, this outdoor terrace brings them really, really, really closer to the water. And here you can see the collage, the perspective collage of the building. And you could see the cantilever, which in 3D form, which brings them really closer to the water. And you have the pontoons, the boating, the kayaking areas, and then also have the green wall, which was influenced by the amazing nature and greenery around the site. Okay, over here you can see the section um, cutting through the floor plan here, and viewing in this direction. You could see the section here showing the floor construction, 200 millimeter concrete cast in place, damp proof membrane, 150 mm insulation, and the floor finish, also the wall construction, what it entails. 200 masonry wall was used, 150 millimeter insulation, uh, 10 millimeter gypsum board interior finish, and 100 exterior brick finish was used for the detail, and also the plan, what it entails, located over here. Here we could see the heating and ventilation strategy. So for this building, we thought of using both the mechanical and the natural ventilation. Um, so over here we have the natural ventilation coming in from the window openings here, and also at this site here. Then areas where we can't really have natural ventilation, like windows that are not open to windows, we thought of mechanical ventilation for those areas. But for the natural, you can see fresh air is drawn through the windows over here. And then for uh, the other inner rooms, we thought of mechanical ventilation through high level ductwork in the ceiling. And we can see it in the sections over here. And then for the heating strategy, radiator supply the required heating. And here we could see the radiator heating panels. And then the heat for this radiator is supplied by the heat pumps, which pulls the thermal energy out of the water. So we have close to the side there's an artificial lake, so we thought of generating the heating from that artificial lake, and also dump unwanted heat into the water source. So we thought of making good use of the water as a source of heating to the site. Thank you all for watching. More videos coming soon on this site. Please like, comment. See you. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.